We go into the news prophecies. We show you why this is happening, that's happening. We're showing you that your enemy is setting up a digital infrastructure where you're going to have to register yourself. You're going to lose restriction to daily activities that you were used to, daily upload capabilities on the internet. You're going to start to lose those as we get down onto this artificial intelligence, all right, as the government of the earth.
Right.
Artificial intelligence is going to govern the earth, and you're going to be tracked, traced, restricted, based upon your belief and your obedience unto the image of the beast,
Right.
which is fulfilled in his wicked Senate government, his wicked way of ruling, his monetary system, okay, his idols, okay, because we're living in the Greco-Roman Empire all over again. So the image of the beast, the ways of ancient Rome, okay, what was before Rome? The Greeks. That's where you get gym. Gymnos is a Greek word that means naked. So the Greeks would go and work out, okay, balls flapping, nipples, you know, right? See, that was the original Nike, okay, because Nike is a Greek goddess of victory. That's proof that the image of the beast is living right now. Through the Statue of Liberty, all of these idols that invoke themselves and happen to be at the forefront of how the wave is flowing, how the culture is flowing, showing you the image of the beast is both speaking and living, man. And you as an Israelite, you're charged with the duty of keeping the order through it all, man. As it exalts itself and becomes a culture and a standard in the earth that if you try to operate outside of it, your ass is through. So we're going to need mercy. Where we at?
Like Isaiah 54.
That's probably pretty much it.
I think I got 61.
Yep.
Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
Right.
He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted.
Right. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted. Who's brokenhearted? You Israelites. You so-called blacks. All right. So-called Native Americans. All right. The so-called West Indies. All of the so-called Puerto Rico. All of the tribes, man. So-called Cubans. You're brokenhearted, man. Your story is filled with absolute terror. By who? The so-called white man?
Right.
Who somehow he gets to be forgiven, but we're the worst thing going amongst you niggas, man.
Yeah.
The Hebrew Israelites, but what about the white man?
Right.
He's telling you that on down the line, you're going to be eating worms and bugs, and that your black ass breathing is heating up the earth, so a lot of niggas got to go. What type of shit is that? You think the Lord didn't have it mapped out when he wanted man on the earth, how many men would be on the earth at a certain time so that the earth wouldn't be overheated?
Yeah,
He set up a system to where that couldn't happen anyway. Through trees. That's why it's supposed to be trees everywhere. Filter, cooling. Okay, it calms down people's minds. You notice there's no trees when you go amongst niggas, because trees promote unity, peace, comfort. It's a visual, it's art. Okay? It purifies the air, it gets pollutants out of the air, certain plants, certain trees. You get food off of it. Resin. You know? But then the so-called white man got everybody sitting in front of a goddamn phone. In a laptop.
That's in your eyesight. That fucking lead, whatever that shit is in the damn computer screens, that shit fucking up your eyesight, man.
Right. Big nigga with a size 17 clogs.
That's right.
The Lord set up a perfect balance, you know, upon the earth.
Right.
You know, but like you said, the wickedness, just like during the time of the flood, has exceeded, you know, of righteousness. So the small amount of righteousness upon the earth is through the men of the Lord. All right? And we see, and letting you people know, because the thing is, the Lord is, he cannot tell you no lie. So when we tell you the things that are happening and what's going on, it's confirmation.
Right.
We're giving you the confirmation of the Lord through our mouths, all right? The mouths of the prophets. And now we're seeing what is the world, it's basically the world is now in gross darkness. You know, what that's going into ignorance. And one of the ignorance, like say you have people constantly on their phones, they're not looking up, like the movie Look Up. They ain't even looking up. They're basically just staying into that media what Esau is telling them. You're being guided by what Esau, the wicked, the devil, who's killing you and look to kill majority of humanity for his to try to raise like a phoenix. He's trying to direct you into death, and the Lord is trying to direct you to life. So he's trying to. So we're trying to tell the Israel to be spiritually minded.
Right.
Let's get out that carnal minded. What does it say in Romans 8? If spiritually minded is the way of life, if carnally minded is the way of death.
Right. And you're gonna have to be in the spirit in these times. You're gonna have to walk in the spirit. Okay? Some more? I got one real quick. This is Baruch 5:8. Moreover, even the woods and every sweet-smelling tree shall overshadow Israel by the commandment of the Most High. For God shall lead Israel with joy and the light of his glory with the mercy and righteousness that cometh from him through Yahweh Shai. So there's going to be trees everywhere in our kingdom, man. Okay, the air is going to smell good. And you could tell as the earth has diminished, the earth don't have a smell anymore. You don't smell pine in the air anymore. You used to be able to smell the pine. That stuff is in the earth for a reason. Smells calms you. It relieves anxiety. You know? But it's supposed to be a natural process. You're not supposed to have to go to a damn bottle to smell something.
Yeah.
That was never how the Heavenly Father intended it to be. Now don't get it twisted. We have our concoctions. We're the children of the Lord. You know, we got our each member of the elect probably comes with a particular smell, color, mineral, something tied to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking as a man. Okay. Where we at?
I had Isaiah 5:12 because our people, they don't consider these things.
Right.
They go through life every day and none of this actually dawns on them. Like, damn, I'm under attack. This Isaiah 5:12, I'm gonna read it in NLT. It reads, "They furnish wine and lovely music at their grand parties, lyre and harp, tambourine and flute, but they never think about the Lord or notice what he is doing."
Right.
Our people, they don't even notice that they're being punished for a reason.
Right.
They don't realize what this devil is getting ready, that he's moving them. You mentioned earlier that this devil says you're going to be eating bugs. You're going to own nothing and be happy.
Right.
No, none of this actually dawns on our people. Like, what does that mean for me?
They don't care.
Because we never get the good end of the stick. So if he's saying that to everybody, we must going to be at a whole nother lower state.
How long they gonna be chasing the bag? Is that when Jake gonna realize that it's all over with now?
The bag
when
gonna go
you can't chase the bag
Yeah.
no more?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This devil told you, own nothing. He's saying it ain't gonna be no bag to chase. all you gonna be is a servant, man.
Right. The bag is gonna be used as a snare to lead you until you having to merge yourself and to be conformed into his image.
Yep.
And you niggas are gonna lose. You gonna get knots growing upside your head.
Like
You're
a
gonna have
cyborg.
sores all
Yeah.
over you.
You're gonna be chasing. You're gonna go from chasing the bag to in a bag.
Right. And you already through with that juicy juice, that taco sauce, man. You took that and you failed. That you didn't upgrade. Niggas got dumber after they took that mess.
Got that juicy J.
Right. They got worse.
Man.
All kind of demons start popping up, rapping and singing and bouncing their ass, and it just got nasty, man. More nasty, because it was already nasty.
Yeah, everything was extra. Like when we was looking into what's in it.
Right.
When people was like, "Well, what's in it? Tell me what's in it." When you take Tylenol, nigga, what's in Tylenol didn't make you act as bad as what was in that juicy juice.
Right. Well, the godfather of Maxine Waters, right? His name is Stanley. Okay. Plotkin, right? Look him up. He was under oath. He was under oath for 8 hours straight. It used to be on YouTube, and they were questioning him about that, what they put in those things, and he had to be honest. He was honest about what they allowed to go in them. Aborted monkey, all kind of stuff, guinea pig. He was, I mean, you know. Now they took it off of YouTube, but in one of my news and prophecies, I went into it, but I had to load it to another platform. I had to load it to Odyssey. But if you look him up, he's under oath, telling you what they put in those things.
Yes.
So what would true leadership tell you to do in that time? What would Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego tell you during the time of having to bow your knee to a particular image? They will say no.
Go against it.
They will go against it. Now we keep the law of the land. We stop at the stop sign. We have IDs. We have what you know so-called Social Security, whatever. We have those things. We pay our taxes. We go to work. We make people laugh. We law. We don't bother people.
We use the world, don't abuse
Right.
it.
We use the world as don't abuse it. We don't bother nobody, man. The people in the world, genuinely, if they know a man of the Lord, they're impressed. Like, wow, you're different. As you shine as a light in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, we're supposed to be different and separate. The first fruits is being raised up. The first fruits of any crop is the best of the batch. Or the first fruit spirits are being returned right back to the Lord through Yahweh Shai here in these latter days. That's the resurrection. That's what's getting ready to happen. And that should be good news to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're running around here kissing a white man ass, losing. Joe Biden didn't work for you. Trump ain't gonna work for you. Christianity don't work for you. Islam didn't work for you. Being an Egyptologist and going back to Africa didn't work for you. A nigga came to me and said, man, you got to get on Malachi York. I said, wow.
Damn.
Man,
Like
it's about
recently?
Recently.
2003 mindset.
I was like, whoa.
Oh,
I said, wow.
He finna be so offended.
I was just like, oh, wow, yeah. I said, yeah, he's in jail, right? I just said it. I just threw that in there. But I was like, what is it about? But like, yeah. That nigga is crazy.
wow.
He was a serial, and Polite came up under him. And you know what Malachi York is in jail for, right?
Same thing Polite is.
The same thing Polite is in jail for, but on a mass, different level, man. But we're the bad guy. Amongst the Egyptology, right? You got more pedos than anybody, right? Africa Bombada, Brother Pope, Light, right? Y'all the ones with the nasty, freaky niggas, man. We chilling. We just out here making our body a living sacrifice for the rebuilding of the Tabernacle of David.
That's right.
Trying to get the hell up out of here.
Yeah, we trying to get ready for forever.
Right,
Right.
right, right.
Right.
Where we at?
Isaiah 61.
Yeah.
To proclaim liberty to the captives
Right,
and the opening of the prison to them that are bound.
right. And where is the first prison? Your mind. Yeah, the crazy thing about it is the word Egypt in the Hebrew word is matazarium, which means double straits.
Right.
So you got to think. Look at all of the captivities you're in. First off, you captivity to the flesh, right? You captive to the flesh. Okay, but then within that, within Esau's system, you've been captive to particular lies. And then the earth is a damn prison under this so-called white man. Right now, really, we're at recess. This is really recess. Really, if you want to be, we get to eat our food, go to the little grocery store, go, even if we want to grow a little garden, okay, yeah, grow your little, okay. Yeah, I got these tomatoes, 3 fucking tomatoes. Talking about, man, if a famine come, man, these, hey, they will come through. But you need the Lord, brother. 3?
According to the prophecy, it ain't gonna come fast enough for you to do all that. You know what I'm saying? You hope it. Listen, we hastening today now. I ain't waiting on no grapes.
Yeah, that ain't, nothing can work outside of the Lord, outside of a miracle. Nothing else is gonna work for us. Monetarily, we can't win. There's no way to win. And you got to think, going into Esau's NWO, eventually we have to die. people that think like us, because if you want to root out the existence of the Most High, okay, because and let's say, you got to understand that artificial intelligence is getting ready to take over the earth. The image of the beast, right, is getting ready to root itself in the earth. It's created with biases, okay, permanent biases. So it has the ability to be against particular talking points, to be anti-righteousness. So they're going to be able to use a system of artificial intelligence that governs the earth to root out the word of the Lord, man. It will be able to pinpoint, even there's going to come a point, calling on the name of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai will lead to a drone showing up probably somewhere where the hell you at.
It's all through our history, throughout the scriptures.
Right.
The reason why there's always a remnant is because it was always silenced.
Right.
You know, and you can get through captivity after captivity after captivity. It's the same concept with nothing being new under the sun. So when we know that spiritually now, then we can go back into the history and see.
Right.
Every time the Lord had somebody that manned up.
Right. Now think about it. Think about Judas Maccabees, right? At the time of Hellenization, you couldn't profess yourself to be a Jew.
Right. They burned
So
all
the
Bibles.
Lord preserved the remnant. That's how you was able to have the scribes, the Pharisees, the Essenes, the Zealots. The reason you were able to have them is because of what Judas Maccabees did. All right, and the men and women who followed him. And what was their thing? We're not bowing.
That's right.
But they had to go secretly. You know, the Lord took them from amongst the people. They were in caves and different places, circumcising their children, sneaking and serving the Lord.
All over the place.
Yep.
The three holy children, they went into the fire praising the Lord,
Right.
and Yahushua showed up.
Right,
So, I mean, if they don't do nothing to you, nothing will.
right.
It's you and your lot.
So
Right.
that proves the mindset of our people. They always looked upon the Lord, man.
Right.
They always had a mindset of, look, man, it's time to go back to Jerusalem, man.
Right.
You know?
Because that's what it's time to do. It's time out for America, man. If you ain't ready to get about America, okay, you out of your damn mind.
Because you want to scoff and not take this thing serious. We're not here to put fringes on a t-shirt.
Right.
Because the shit that's coming down the road, man, it's going to be fucking devastating. I got one. It's Psalm 61:7. He shall abide before the Most High forever. Oh, prepare mercy and truth, which may preserve him. Coming out here on the highways and byways and understanding this wisdom and knowledge and understanding what's going to preserve us in these times. That's why we out here, man, because we ain't out here to get this now to put the fucking fringes on the t-shirt, man.
Right, now if you wear your fringes, you're not wicked.
No, you're not wicked at all, but
Right,
that
but
ain't
it's
gonna
gonna
save your ass,
and
man.
that's not going to save you.
That's right.
Because that's being pushed. If you don't got the fringes on, the Lord will destroy you.
You go down with them fringes on, because first of all, you don't have no faith.
Right.
Second of all, you don't have the truth.
And third of all, you doing all this BS with your fringes
With the
on.
fringes on.
Right.
So, no.
A lot of the BS we've seen in Israel, Jake has had the fringes on.
Yeah.
So the fringes being a vessel that you were supposed to look upon, if you seen this dangling out of your peripheral,
Right.
oh, you will remember, oh, I got to do this Sabbath. I got to do right. That's what the purpose of the fringes was, man.
Yeah, that's right. Not so you can do whatever you want. Well, I got my fringes on, so I'm covered. It don't work like that. That wasn't a part of the deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was like the elder always talk about. That was going into something carnal, because Jake always got to see something carnal.
Right.
You know. But now that's what I'm saying. So you telling me if you don't have your fringes on, you'll eat a McRib?
Right.
Right.
No, you're not gonna eat a McRib because you know that's pork and we can't
Because
eat
it's in
it,
your
you know what I'm
spirit.
saying?
You're remembering in your
Yeah.
spirit. You don't need the physical thing to know not to do it. You just do it.
That's right.
Walking in the spirit. That's what we're going back to. Going back to the time of Adam where it was just a way.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something we had to go to a book to. Okay, oh damn, Leviticus. No, it was just we did it. The will of the Lord be done through His men.
I was saying, and the scriptures are gonna be in us moving forward.
Right.
When our bodies are changed, it's gonna be in us. So we're gonna be able to walk in the spirit. You see, when you go back to Adam in the garden and the sons of God, that's what I'm saying. It was just in them.
Right.
You see, it wasn't until the serpent beguiled Eve, and then later Adam, to where it had to be something physical, or we had to, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Because we were blocked from access to paradise. The two cherubims blocked us from getting back to that way of immortality, and we had to suffer a fall. And that's what the Bible is about, the sons of God getting back to that immortal estate, and how the process of how they would do it, and the importance of the blood of His Son, which seals the deal that we would be redeemed back.
That's right. That's why I said in the verse, it said mercy and truth. So
Right.
So the Lord extended his mercy to you by giving us the truth, which is this doctrine, man. You know?
That's right.
So this is time for you to quit bullshit at the end of the day. And this is what's gonna keep you stable.
Right.
To get back to that first estate how it once was, man.
Right. Right.
That's it.
Where we at? Go ahead.
John 17:17. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth.
You can break it down.
Well, this is going out with the other hand brought out. This is the word is going to keep. It's going to separate us from those that don't have this truth, and that's why we are made an offender. You know, we always talked about as the rebel camp because we stand up truly for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Conversely, you got people out there that's making, you know, these compromises to get more monetary gain, to get more audiences and things of that nature, and it's going to lead to their destruction. You know, ultimately, we're getting ourselves, like the elder Yatazak said, we're getting ourselves ready for the kingdom. And in order for us to get ready for the kingdom, we got to get ready for hell. Because hell is coming on the earth. You know? It's
time to gird up.
Yeah.
You see? The Lord said, gird up thy loins, man. You know, be a man. All this compromise and all that, that ain't what the men of the Lord stand for, man. No, if the Lord don't like it, we don't like it. We say hate the evil, love the good. That's what we're doing. And by doing what's that, make thyself a prey? Somebody pull that right quick, Baba Kashab. Yeah, but that's the whole point, just like we was mentioning earlier. Every generation, every captivity, it was a remnant. Why? Because it was those that laid down. You got ones that's gonna lay down, you got ones that's gonna stand up. You see, even when Job was going through all that he was going through, the Lord was like, gird up. I demand you to gird up. I placed a bet on you. You see, you got to put yourself into these scriptures, man. If you don't believe that the Lord bet Satan, that Satan can't do nothing to you, then that's on you. Because that's what it told us.
That's right. I got it real quick with it. It's after what you talking about, it goes to what you were saying. Slightly. Isaiah 29:20. For the terrible one is brought to nigh, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate.
That's what I'm saying. That's what Jake want to do. Oh, man, y'all scared to go to the hood. Y'all scared to do this. Y'all scared to do that. Look, man, we believe that no matter where we at, the Lord going to have angels encamped around us because we for the Lord. So it ain't the location.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't about the location. It's about the vibration. The truth can come from anywhere.
Right, and they're laying a snare for those who rebuke in the gate. That's being laid right now. Through this thing called hate speech. They're going to be able to use, again, that artificial intelligence system, all right, to make righteousness hate speech. As you was going to bring out Isaiah 59. Somebody got it?
59
Yep. This is a part of our sacrifice. When the scriptures talks about not bowing the knee to the image of Baal, it comes with keeping a particular commandment.
Right.
And again, we always talk about the keeping of the commandments. Well, you're going to have to keep the commandment when they come with this system. The commandment was to not bow the knee to the image of Baal. So it's going to take something more than anything you can look at. It's going to take the belief in the unseen, miracles. If you believe in a resurrection, that's a hell of a start.
Man, I'm telling you.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 59:15. Yea, truth felleth, and he that departeth from evil make himself a prey.
You see that? That's what I'm saying. So going into the scriptures, even when Jake, we talk about the law. We go into the law, and they still get offended.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh no, see that's too much, man. You know what I'm saying, bro? When Esau rolled, you already know what they're gonna accuse us of. We already know. You see? If we say don't eat pork to a nigga gonna be like, man, shit. What little Boosie say? Man, I'm hungry than a bitch down here. That's Jake mentality. And when you say no, the Lord gonna provide food for us. No, man, see? You see?
Provision.
When you go into the M to the O to the T to the B, Jake tell you it ain't the M to the O to the T to the B. Y'all going off. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it ain't that. Y'all stop now. You gonna get us all shot. It ain't us that's gonna get you shot, homie.
Right, and then they go out of their way. They go out of their way to tell you that the Haragma ain't got nothing to do with the MOTB.
Right.
Right.
They go out of their way. That's like a real hardcore stance of them.
Right.
It ain't no damn like we
Yes.
like basically pushing the notion that really that's nothing to worry about, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we are every week talking about, yes, it is.
Right. Now they're telling you to stay away from white Jesus,
White woman.
stop eating Taco Bell, whatever the hell they say, right? But then, yeah, white women,
That niggas don't even say Taco Bell though.
yeah, they be eating that shit on camera.
No nigga getting chupa
The
chupas.
chief priest was eating that shit on camera. Like,
Man,
goddamn, Taco Bell?
Yeah, I want to say,
He got the ponytail. I'm like, damn.
Nigga got Dorito taco.
but the turkey out of pocket.
Hey, when you look at the Taco Bell logo, it's 666 on that shit.
Man.
Now, we all got our folly. My folly is a little more upper class. I'm uppity when it comes to food. But
Yeah.
stay away from that shit, man.
Yeah, that shit ain't cool.
That ain't cool.
Yeah, this shit's so long.
You might as well get a blue sucker.
Man.
Go get a push pop.
Big grown ass nigga walking around with
That
some
nigga got a
blue
pickle and a
lips.
peppermint.
Man. Pickle with Kool-Aid in it.
I know, right?
Big ass. Isaiah 59:15.
Yeah.
Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil making himself a prey.
That's what I'm saying. That's an example of loving the good and hating the evil. You see what I'm saying? Because we hate what the Lord hates.
Right, can we get that in the
You know what I'm
NLT?
saying? But at the same time, I would say we hate what the Lord hates, but we love what the Lord loves, which is Israel in their folly. So we see how the Lord feel when the Lord goes into Ezekiel 16. When the Lord was talking about how I gave you this, I built you up, I did all this, I did all that, and this how you gonna do me?
Right,
We feel the same way.
right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes that be going off nowadays used to be down with us. You know what I'm saying? But it's another scripture where it say they were not of us.
Right, we
That's
have
why
to
they
feel.
were stayed.
We basically have to feel what the Most High felt through, and what Yahushua had to feel with Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got to feel that.
That's right.
The how these niggas be acting.
Yep.
Like we have to undergo being an off-scouring. We got to undergo what comes with being a follower of Yahweh Shemal Shai.
Hating their brothers with their fringes on.
Right.
You know?
Yep. That's Isaiah 59 in NLT. It says, yea, truth is gone, and everyone who renounces evil is attacked.
Mm-hmm.
The Yahweh looked and was displeased to find there was no justice.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why the Lord is going to bring vengeance on this place, man. You see? Because at the end of the day, the Israelites are still the apple of the Lord's eye. That's why He left that remnant. You see? And when you go through the scriptures, all you see is remnant after remnant after remnant after remnant, until eventually we're gonna get the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
You see? But you also see sellout after sellout after sellout after sellout. You know? And the beautiful thing is we got the scriptures to bounce us back to reality. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, even though you looking at, man, look at this shit. You sitting in the chat, Jake bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? But eventually what start happening? Precepts start flying about what ain't right about that. About what's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? They reward versus our reward, Lord willing, we make it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you get the comfort from.
Right.
See, Jake not comforted by the scriptures unless they put money in their pocket.
Right.
You know? Go ahead.
That's right. Starting up at verse 14, Isaiah 59:14. Our courts oppress the righteous, and justice is nowhere to be found. Truth stumbles in the streets, and honesty has been outlawed.
You see? Truth stumbling in the streets. That was, bro,
Honesty outlawed.
they finna act the fool with these unrighteous decrees.
Yeah.
You know?
It's coming down the pipe.
That's what I'm saying. And the thing is, you can't burn the scrolls no more. That ain't gonna work.
Right.
You know? You can't kill all the prophets because we living in a time where all the prophets ain't gonna die.
Can't go burn the temple. There ain't no
See,
building.
bro, the Lord consistently moves the finish line so we can cross the tape.
Right. And see what Esau's doing is he's like, fuck it. I'm gonna just create catastrophic events, and that's gonna justify me having to bring forth these unrighteous decrees.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna scare people into accepting the order through what? Chaos.
Yeah.
That's why you see all of this chaos and confusion going on in the earth.
Yeah.
Niggas running from white bitches, getting in the limo, tripping.
Yeah.
Shit, weird. It's a weird environment out here.
Right.
The human experience, I'm over it, man.
Right.
I'm so over this
Yeah,
minuscule, low-level, tacky-ass life, man.
Somebody in the jungle that don't have a penny to his name
is in a better situation than us because he can go and hunt and get something that's not GMO.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That has been raised in one of these massive animal farms.
Right.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? His woman is in order. His kids, he ain't gotta teach them, you know, when they come home, hey, you know, there's no such thing as gender fluidity, right? You know, whoever you was born with, that's what you are.
Right.
He doesn't have to deal with those things. He eat, get up, hunt, make some tunes on whatever instrument he had. You know, make a hut, and he chill. Pass down his insignificant culture, and that's it.
Yep. Preparing for the seasons. Chilling.
You got other countries that don't want no parts of what America's the greatest country on the planet. You know, but you got nations that don't want to have nothing to do with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it's so-called the greatest nations on the planet is because it's great in wickedness, man. You can come over here and do whatever you want.
Right. Your people are the dumbest. Okay. Unhealthiest. Okay. The uninformed. Unreasonable. Uncouth. The American people, man. Especially your children.
Terrible.
The men are weak, and clueless. The women are bold and weird and creepy. All over the place.
Just evil.
And this bitch got a phone.
Right.
Man.
With the access to upload on the internet. So all day, it's just a bunch of madness passing through the airways, man. All kind of spirits are in the earth right now, man.
Hell, it's taking a little bit longer for that madness to pass.
Yep.
What you got, bro?
No, I'm sorry. Well, I was gonna say all these things are going on, yet various supply shortages are happening right now as we speak. In Canada, there's a sugar shortage where people are hoarding sugar. You know, you got down here the cost of meat is increasing exponentially. In particular, beef. Right? So we see all these things going on. The masses even see it's going on. They can acknowledge, man, it's getting even more expensive out here. But they can't acknowledge that it's going to be on catastrophic levels. They can't see it.
And it's in the scriptures about visuals being sold cheap. You know what I'm saying? The daughters of music being brought low. We seeing all these things.
Right.
Jake got souls they hate, stuff they won't eat, but they don't realize it's tied to the scriptures.
And all these opinions on the internet, nobody's came to the conclusion that it's going to get worse out here. But yet you got people out there who call themselves Israelites. We're the worst kept. We should get stoned for eating turkey on Thanksgiving. But you will go and post up with somebody who's anti-Bible, who's talking crap about the scriptures, and try to break bread with that person. What's the purpose of that, bro? It's meaningless. Unless you're trying to, do business venture with them. So you're going to let yourself be belittled so you can stay on that platform, bro?
Right.
The Lord to be belittled so you can stay on that platform so you can sell your weak-ass oil?
A chief high priest take it backseat to a captain. General.
It's just all over the place, man.
Ain't none of that stuff gonna get you nowhere spiritually, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you lack in the spirit, that's what's gonna count in the last days of the last days, man.
Right. Let's get a scripture. You had something you wanted.
Oh yeah. This is Psalms 37 and 32 going into you guys. We're talking about us telling you that on TV is the microchip is not what's gonna get you shot. Right? Psalms 37 and 32. The wicked wait in ambush for the godly, looking for an excuse to kill them.
That's what I'm saying, man, and that's what Jake doing. Because they thinking that they just gonna be able to point and say, them dudes from GMS, we ain't with them. No, that's what I'm saying. It ain't gonna be about GMS during that time. Right. You got them fringes on. You said you an Israelite. You said the white man going down.
You're gonna have to be a part of the. You're gonna have to be a part of the elect.
Yeah.
In that time,
And the elect is gonna be justified by faith.
Right.
You see, not how much of the bag you feel. It tell us the bag got holes in it.
That's right.
So it's to the point now to where you're like, okay, well, Lord told Jeremiah, look, don't pray for them. Lord told Ezra, he said, look, don't worry about how these niggas gonna get killed.
Right.
You worry about how they gonna get saved.
How the righteous be saved.
Because I'm finna get on their helmet.
Right.
And that's the spirit that we come in. Look, You can chase that bag all you want, but eventually, them laws you telling everybody that they got to keep, them fringes you selling, they gonna have to matter.
Right. Because if you want the bag, you're gonna have to fully bow to the image.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out with Esau.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to eventually merge yourself and be made in his image. That's what he's trying to do on the planet Earth. And how are you gonna be made in his image? Okay, you're gonna totally alter yourself, and you're gonna he's gonna put his name on you. Where it talks about the name of the beast.
Right.
Basically, when you take that charagma and you start to get all of these altering things that he got talking, you know, this sauce. Okay, you're starting to change yourself and manipulate from what you really are.
Right.
Which he's already done enough. Since we woke up, we've changed. You know, we're a new creature now. Hey, it's now we got the knowledge. The Lord has opened us up to who this man really is and what he's trying to obtain. So we can't. The scriptures, keeping the law. The scriptures say, "Never trust thine enemy." We got to keep that law. Now we apply it with wisdom as we're in this captivity. We don't go amongst Edomites at work, wilding out, you cracker. They talk about the Cowboys game. I act like I seen it. Yeah, man. I don't give a fuck. Right. I'm just, having, you look at the highlights here and there, see what's going on, but I don't really care about that shit. Boxing, if anything, is what I follow. But you go amongst these people in the world. You just
Be cool, man.
You just be cool.
It says set a mark on the foreheads of them that sigh and that cry.
Right.
Those that sigh and that cry is the ones that sigh on the highways and the byways in sincerity and truth. But Esau, he wants to put his name in your forehead.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
He want the same thing the Lord want.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
That's
eternal
true.
life ain't gonna come through wickedness. It ain't gonna come through bending the knee.
Right.
It's gonna come from girding up.
Right.
You see? So when all these jakes is telling you it ain't the mark of the beast, it ain't the mark of the beast, it ain't okay,
Right.
okay, we go look. A lot of them, a lot of them gonna take it, but a lot of them gonna finally see what it is at the end.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it might be too late, it might not, but they gonna see it.
Right. That's up you and
You'll see when they
the
get
Lord's
some
hand.
swords on.
And that word in the Greek for forehead is metapon.
See?
Just like you have metaverse,
Metaverse.
they want control of where the spirit dwells. They want to have dominion over that. Where the Lord deals with man. Okay, get that scripture in the dream and the Lord sealeth man's instruction.
Job 33.
Yeah, this is the type of
15 to 16.
capability that they're trying to attain. All right, real quick.
Yeah, man. Because at the end of the day, man, you got a mark that's gonna exempt you from judgment, and you got a mark that's gonna get you judged.
Right,
And you got to be able to distinguish the two.
right. And they're going to present their mark as you being exempt from judgment. They're going to present their mark as something that will benefit you to be able to operate on the earth more securely and freely away from all of this crime and all of these crazies. And to have you logged into a database, track, trace, limited based upon your talking point and viewpoint and internet history, and eventually locked out of the earth and through.
Social credit.
Through your social credit, eventually they're gonna have the ability to say, just get this nigga up out of here.
Right. Right.
You might just fall. The ground where you at might just open. You might just fall. It's the New World Order. They can do anything.
And that's what Revelation is going into, man. 13, 14, 15, those chapters, it goes into it being presented. It goes into what happened if you take it. It goes into what happens if you don't take it. And then it goes to your reward when you get further down in the chapters.
Right.
You
right,
know?
Right. Revelation 15 talks about victory over the image's beast, his name. He's trying to put his name on the Lord's creation. Go ahead.
Start at 14. Job 33 and 14. For the Most High speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon
REM
the
sleep
bed.
is what they call it.
REM sleep, like your eyes being sleep, but like fast eye, or like
Rapid eye movement.
Right.
the rapid eye movement. That's when he
Or the rim.
computer things in your head.
Right.
Then he opened up the ears of men and sealed up their instructions.
He's open to the ears of men. Okay, so if you want your ass to get hit by a bus, right? Because niggas get hit by buses every day, B.
Yep.
So he'll seal your instruction, and then he'll seal the person driving the bus instruction to be there to hit your ass.
That's right. That's right.
On deeper levels, the counsel and the minds of the rulers on the earth doing things that lead to prophecy being fulfilled. World War III, spiritual Sodom in Egypt, there's rulers on the earth that angels guide their minds to do those things to fulfill what the Lord had written.
Right.
But Esau wants that power. He wants the ability to control thought, to control spirits coming into the earth and being born. Okay? When you die, having every birth, every interaction with earth tracked, traced.
Crazy.
I was saying, and the Lord can do all that without doing none of the stuff.
Right.
It's just the Lord. He just is.
Right. He just did.
The Lord can, the Bible said, the Lord count every hair on your head.
Right.
I mean, He created all spirits, man. Ain't no way you can't get past that.
Right.
Or above it. So.
And he made food out of the food is in the earth.
Right.
So what is the white man talking about?
It's all that confusion, man.
Right.
You see?
Right.
It's all about confusion, and Jake is confused.
Right.
The whole world is confused. We talk about Jake.
Right.
Jake is confused, bro. Like,
I see.
it's undeniable. Is there more to that?
That He may withdraw man from his purpose.
That he may withdraw man from his purpose. So if Esau wanted to some kind of way do good, the Lord gonna seal his instructions. You know what I'm saying? To fulfill prophecy. That's another reason why the instructions are sealed. Cause bro, when you sleep, you can't be distracted. You out of there. You ain't no more you more vulnerable while you sleep than you are while you fucking.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no distractions when you sleep. That's why the Lord say, I'm gonna put it in there now. You see? And that's to fulfill prophecy, man. You see?
Wait.
So if an elect member have a wicked thought, the Lord is gonna change that up through his sleep. You know? That's how cold the Lord is. Go ahead.
That He may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from men.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Esau trying to do.
Yep.
He trying to make man in his image to do his bidding,
Right.
while he controls the whole earth, limit the people who he got left to these restricted areas in the earth where they got supposedly everything they need. They'll never see the outside world again. They'll be re-indoctrinated. Complete madness. Now I wanted to get this in Revelation because we were talking about what Esau's trying to attain is control over thought. He's trying to get control over the spirit. You know? Through technology. So we're going to read Revelation 18. It's going to go into describing what Babylon the Great possessed. What it had in its possession. Go ahead.
Revelations 18:10. It says, standing afar off, for know the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour of thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth
And this is going into John the Revelator saw Babylon be destroyed. He saw the destruction of Babylon the Great in a vision. He saw what the nations were doing synonymously, showing you people don't go to hell.
Right.
When that fire comes to the earth, there's going to be people mourning at the fall of it. On the other side of the world, the earth is going to reel to and fro. The whole earth is going to be affected by what happens to Babylon the Great. And that's what we're telling you is coming. First it was the flood. Now it's the destruction of Babylon the Great. The land of Israel decimated. That land, that little portion of it where they're at, because they don't have the whole promised land. Don't you ever think that they have control of the whole promised land. No, they have control of a particular region in the land of Judah. Okay? Even that coast of Palestine, where they're fighting, that belongs in the region of Judah's inheritance. As you go into how the inheritance were parted amongst the 12 tribes. They're just in a little corner, a little spot, fighting over little, particular lands. Egypt had at some point control over some of their land. Go ahead.
Revelation 18:11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
Right.
For no man buyeth the merchandise anymore.
Right. And this is how these nations are able to get rich through the consumer America. All right. There's more imports here in the Americas, all right, than out the entire planet Earth, man. Any other country. Go ahead.
And the merchants of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen.
Right. Your ability to have all of these things that you buy in these stores, stones, frankincense, that comes through trade. Okay? Your ability to have, rare things and better fruit, it all comes through trade. Okay? So when America's destroyed, these nations are going to mourn because they no longer are going to have access to that beast system anymore. It's all going to collapse. Go ahead.
And purple silk and scarlet and all Thyan wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and of manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots.
They got all of these things in their possession. Animals could take it. You got them at a damn circus, jumping through the hoop.
Man.
Go ahead.
And slaves and souls of men.
And slaves and souls of men. So when you look up that word souls, okay, it says suke, psyche. And when you look at all of the technology, it's geared towards getting control of the psyche, controlling the mind. So one of the things that Babylon the Great would have, they literally have people who are like Clone Tyrone. They're programmed, like he has their soul programmed to be a particular way, to basically fulfill his will.
Guys like
So why you keep? I said, look how these rappers keep getting recycled.
Right.
They killing 25, 30 a year, but shit, 60 more popping up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They control that. I was saying, it's just like you said. One day they're gonna be controlling the NBA,
Right.
the NFL. Yeah, you gonna have some devil controlling the whole thing like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they gonna say they gotta get that technology up so they can do that. But that's what they're looking for.
Right. It says life, that which there is, a living being, soul, the seat of feelings, desires, affections.
That's what I'm saying. They want what the Lord programmed while you sleep. They want that.
Right.
He's so top.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So they even show you that in what was that movie, The Kingsman? We're gonna give everybody a cell phone. Make sure everybody got one, and then we're gonna hit in on their bitch ass and see what it do.
Right.
And then everybody just start killing each other.
Right.
You know? So they wanna be in charge of the issues of death.
Right. They want to basically make everybody call evil good and good evil.
Right.
Right.
That's what this culture is geared towards.
And if you don't, they'll kill you.
They've basically controlling the affections of people. People don't care about the earth. Everybody's carnal, beast-like. So when it says he has the souls of men, that goes into his what he's doing on the planet Earth right now.
That's different.
Those that have the image of the beast, they down.
They bow.
All they need is the mark now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he want. He got your soul when he can get in. You know?
Now I get one. Yep. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:9. I'm gonna read it in NLT. This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and mercies and miracles. It's like,
And the miracles go to the technology we see.
Right.
Your ability to turn on the phone and talk to somebody that's thousands, hundreds of miles away, thousands of miles away, and look at them right in the face. And ancient societies had technology, okay, but there's never been on this level. Through the riches and through the blessing that he's gotten on the left-hand side, he's been able to, now the ancient technologies weren't as destructive to the earth. They actually used the earth. The Egyptians used gold to, have electricity. You use the minerals of the earth to get light, and certain they didn't destroy the earth like this devil. They worshiped the Nile River.
These fools promising you that they promising eternal life.
Right.
Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But they promising eternal life, but they can't deliver on it. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh said, all you gotta do is obey, and you'll have everything. You'll have the kingdom. Esau wants you to be as unrighteous as possible to deal with him. So it ain't no way you can live forever.
if you follow his, Mr. Thou shalt not surely die,
Right.
it's gonna give you eternal life.
Yes.
I don't think so, bro.
He's gonna screw you in the end.
Yeah.
You know, as he always has.
That back end deal is a motherfucker.
If you know, because Esau got that carnal salvation. You have to. He say, you know, the Lord. You have to have that faith and believe. That's why with that 1 John 2, it says there's going to be many anti-messiahs. He want to take the Lord away from you and say, here, this is something that's more tangible that you can see. Believe in this and what I can do. Know all those signs and wonders and miracles that He's going to perform for you. The Lord didn't show you that, so I'm going to show you this. So I'm going to let you believe that you can see my salvation, my eternal life. But true, I'm going to deceive the shit out you. I'm going to set you up for death.
That's right. I'm gonna finish this. It says, verse 10, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction, because they refuse.
All of these different distractions going on amongst these fake celebrities. Because Hollywood's through. They all getting caught. There's no money. They're on strike. Hollywood, they recycling movies. Was the Ninja Turtles coming out probably again?
Yeah, it is actually.
Oh,
The
you
Color
for real?
Purple.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Bro, they bring about the color purple.
Yeah, they had the color purple on ice. This bitch skating.
She's
gonna beat me.
He's kicking my ass.
Skating all around. What the fuck? This
So
shit's
harmonized
stupid.
by getting your ass.
So now they're just using the actors in these different scandals. You know, Chris Rock, you know, Will Smith, all of the stuff that they're putting out there. It's all meant for distractions.
Right. They're trying to keep the bread and circuses going.
Right. That's what the black boule always were. All right. These niggas who submitted on the left hand, and they're at the forefront. They're like the gatekeepers of Esau, keeping Esau's shit intact. They do it on the left hand side, man.
Right.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So our people are going to be destroyed that's under the web or the spell of Esau Edom. And you know, just like the elder was going into, he uses these various celebrities to put spells on these people. And a bigger spell that he utilizes is that beast that's talked about in Revelation 13 chapter, man.
Right.
That speak like a lamb, the Republicans versus the Democrats. You know, I guarantee around election time, Sexy Red gonna put on a real tight dress and tell everybody to go vote.
Yeah, she gonna be at the Trump rally. So I got Sexy Red. This bitch on the screen twerking.
Look at my African Americans.
See, I'm hip. Trump talking that shit. He got kicked off the stage.
One election, Trump had Judah and Ephraim. He had a so-called black artist and he had a so-called Puerto Rican little pump. He said,
Yeah.
little pump.
Yeah.
Complete nonsense, man.
That's like,
Where we at?
This is Revelation 18 and 14. It says, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after
Right. Go ahead.
and departed from thee.
Restart over.
Come. Revelation 18 and 14. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after and departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly and departed from thee.
Right. He's basically had his way in the earth. That nigga, he lived it up.
Winning.
His soul went a horn. He took creation and just did what the hell he wanted to do with it. You know, this nigga creating hybrid animals, plants, got you eating shit that really ain't real. You listen to Dr. Sebi. This ain't real. Potatoes ain't nothing fucking real. You just be sitting around eating sea moss, drinking water, you know. Head hurting. Oh, I'm listening to Dr. Sebi, man.
He got you know, feel the truth.
Like everything was fake. I had to stop listening to that nigga. Like, man, I'm just gonna work out my own salvation, man.
So you can drink water with this.
Cauliflower every goddamn day. You like shit. Which
Well, we know
he's
this,
right.
though.
A lot of this shit that you know.
But the scriptures stand over that shit. Because if that's the case,
Broccoli
then
fake, you
hey,
like,
we've been eating
goddamn.
porter since we was a kid. He's been trying to kill us since we was a kid. Our mom was eating this shit and feeding us through the tube.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's the spirit of the Lord, man. So you know.
All Dr. Sabi had to do was read Ezekiel 12 and leave it at that. He just attacking every single
he wanna get
anything
changed.
you put in your mouth.
I
He
mean,
on
he
your
had
ass.
some good information.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He had some good information.
a
You
lot of
know?
stuff was changed around because of the breeding of Esau, Edom.
Right.
It was altered because of that. Like if you look at old carrots, they look vastly different from the carrots that we eat now, man.
It's all fake.
Like real different.
He's basically created food in his image.
A part of the curse. A part
Right.
of the curse in Genesis 3 was that the ground wasn't gonna yield up
Right.
as much.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So you know what I'm
Curse
saying?
Cain, yep.
That's why everything looks so different. Cause you remember how big the grapes was back in the day?
Yeah.
Shit, now it's this big with no seed in it.
Newborn baby can pick that up.
You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know. That lets you know if a grape can be this big, if a grape can go from a basketball to a grape, then that lets you know that the curse worked.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yep, and you got to eat more of the food. Like an apple in the 30s had 80% more nutrients than the apple of today. Meaning you got to eat more of the apple. And the food is losing its nutrients. Why? Because it's being genetically altered. Which what does that entail do? It alters you.
Right.
So that they can make you. Basically, there's all kind of metals inside of people. They're basically making you an antenna to be received on this grid, man.
That's it.
Gil Bates, I'm gonna say Gil Bates to the point now to where he buying up whatever he can buy just so he can correct it. You know what I'm saying? The brother mentioned the other day that apple cider vinegar is gonna be out of there. Well, at least that brand. At least that brand. You know what I'm saying? But that was it. They buying stuff up just so they can corrupt it.
Right.
Like the Zuckerberg clown. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you more than likely that compound in Hawaii is probably that land that they burnt all them people about that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it is, but that's what they doing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Get up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Go ahead.
All right, this is back in our Revelations 18 and 14. It says, "And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly and departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all." And
Yeah, you're gonna be stripped bare, man. And it's better that way. Like you need to literally be put in chains. You don't need to be walking around. You don't need to be flying around. You need to sit your ass down somewhere and be judged. You need to be corrected.
Yeah, he's flying now. Look propped up. He just
Yeah.
I've been doing all kinds of
Everywhere you look, chemtrails in the sky.
that shit been every hill lit.
The food now tastes more chemically too.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you
so-
notice that, the food don't taste good no more.
Yeah.
So you gotta utilize fasting because you gotta separate from the chemicals.
Yep.
You know, intermittent fasting. You can do intermittent fasting, but you can't be consuming this shit all day. This ain't the '90s no more. You can do that shit in the '90s.
Some little Debbie cakes will be all right. Just sit down.
Your eye gonna fall out.
But a lot of that shit affected how we feel now.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, the babies that got breastfed, they ended up being way stronger than the Similac babies. We grew up in the Similac era. You know what I'm saying? Now you see how our bodies start breaking down, late 20s, early 30s? Bro, these GMOs finna ravish these people, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The people that grew up on it, that's all they done had is GMO. Bro, our children are screwed, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to say that's how you know it's at the end, man. The children are our future, my ass. Absolutely not. You know, but that's what I'm saying. They growing up in a whole different era. You ain't getting breastfed, you getting GMOs.
Right.
So they bodies gonna start breaking down before ours did.
I got something for you.
God.
2nd Esdras chapter 8 and 10. For thou hast commanded out of the parts of the body, that is to say, out of the breast, milk to be given, which is the fruit of the breast, that the thing which is fashioned may be nourished for a time, till thou dispose it to thy mercy. Meaning, basically, the breastfeeding was set up. It's an order.
They took that out. Yeah, they took that out completely out the way. You know what I'm saying? Now a woman is offended.
That was a commandment.
Yeah, a woman is offended now if you want her to breastfeed the child.
I don't want my shit all sagging.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's a beautiful. Hey, look, you women have a role of the nation to make the
sacrifice.
kids healthy.
And your
That's
stuff
a
gonna
very
sag
important
anyway.
role, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Your stuff gonna sag anyway. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You can't get around that, you know, but whatever.
I never understood that. Like, most titties kind of sag a little bit, right?
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, how many titties just sitting there?
Perky. They united with perky titties. It
Yeah.
don't work.
And that's the thing.
Fuck that shit
I will
up.
say, a man
That's a
can
I
be
never
80 years old. A man can be 80 years old. If he can get it up, he can still produce life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shit, a woman shit run out at a certain age.
Now, some ugly,
Yeah.
old school looking you know, sagging. I know that, you know, but I mean, most titties, you know, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Until these bodies is changed, your shit gonna sag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your titties gonna drop, our stomach gonna pop out.
Your
We
titty
deal with it.
Your titty gonna drop and I got a bald spot.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So once our bodies is perfected, you ain't got to worry about that. But shit, we working
Hey,
on
man, on
perfection
my
now.
island, shit, you
know
come
what
see
I'm
some
saying?
saggy titties.
Yeah.
And righteousness. It's gonna look good,
Firm,
though.
tight. Silicone
Hey,
tight.
Esau Edom has took advantage of the curse that Eve had, so wanting to maintain her man, and so she put her in that workforce mindset to where she has an impulsive mindset when it comes to the family. When it comes to the family's getting seconds best. So she's working things of that nature. She giving them kids, you know, something, you know, impulsive to keep them quiet, whether it be the television, whether it be a snack. And they wonder why these kids have autism, because their whole life they're just giving snacks like a fucking dog, man. Just to quiet them and not to nourish them, man.
Right, and that's the, you know, the word alma mater means all nourishing mother, you know, and our all nourishing mother is wisdom, but for the child, the mother is supposed to nourish, you know, those first initial stages. You know, as a child grows, only when you get around 12, he start really, you know, leaving that mama's boy spirit and being with his dad. But the woman is, you know, the order of the woman was to nourish the child with the vision and wisdom that was given unto her by her husband.
Exactly. They're supposed to be on one accord, man.
Which, once you breastfeed, the reason it's a commandment, because it ties you, it has a lot to do with the makeup of your brain.
Right.
It ties you to your culture. It's a very important order the Heavenly Father set up. It ain't just milk. It has it's like a CBD, but it's a calming effect. That's why babies, once they
Melatonin.
you know, something like that, some chemical in it, in the breast milk, that's associated with, after the baby drink it, they go to sleep.
Hey, like the story the woman gave the man the milk from the tent.
Right.
Who was that?
Right.
Yeah, she enjoyed the stick to his head and shit.
So
Yeah.
Esau has set up a system to where we've been totally detached from that for the most part.
They gonna use
So what does that do? That puts you at a disadvantage as a person.
Powder and messed up water.
Right. So we needed the Lord. The fact that we're still here as Israelites, even the way that we're born, the mother laying down.
Right. Hollering like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Looking at you and shit.
I need the shot.
I seen that shit, bro.
Yeah, give me the shot.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. How would you feel if I turned you upside down and told you to take a shit?
Right.
Hang you from the ceiling when you got a shit.
Right.
That's stupid. That's evil.
Right. This nigga crazy.
It ain't gonna work.
Oh, shit.
And then he got a shot. You look at the needle. It's
It
escape
was
the
right there,
curse.
motherfucker.
It's called escape
That
the
bitch.
curse.
And it's still
Like,
hurt.
you still hurt. And then y'all have all kind of back issues.
From then on. From then on.
Yeah.
Cranky.
Y'all got
Walking sideways. You're like, oh man, this nigga
rub my
turned
back?
to the Tasmanian devil right before my
Like
eyes.
and shit.
Go ahead.
Rub my back.
Revelation 18 and 15, it says, the merchants of these things which were made rich
That's pretty
by
much
her.
it on that. That's pretty much it on that. Because this place is going to be destroyed. You know? This is why we got to walk in the spirit, man. What is that scripture? Measure the times diligently. What time is it?
8:48. That's a measure time.
Yeah, second Ezra, the ninth chapter.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's getting ready to, you know, I mean, I know we say it. Get Jeremiah 51 and like 43. My people, go ye out of the midst of earth.
I got this one to Ezra. Second Ezra 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
And this is what we lost, you know, when we follow these other philosophies. We lost the spirit, man. Israel is supposed to be a spiritual people, you know, and basically through the chemicals and the foods and the, you know, we've been detached from the spirit, man. So the Lord in these latter days has did us a favor by sending the Holy Spirit through his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushua, the right hand side. You know, because we be through as a nation without the spirit preserving us. There's no reason we should be here. Crack, broken families, all of these things were created to cut us off from being a nation, yet we're still here.
Could you picture Israel without
to snatch the sun out the sky and shoot at the goddamn moon again.
That's right.
He answered me and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before."
Right. So how do you measure the time? That means you got to walk in the spirit, meaning you can't spend too much time in the flesh.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you do that, you ultimately you stop getting spiritual messages. You got to be locked in the spirit. When you lock into the spirit, the Lord is always showing you something.
Bro, can you imagine Noah's thought process and how on point he was? The closer it got to that rain falling, you can't tell me he didn't feel that in the spirit.
Right.
It's got to be coming. It got to be coming. You know what I'm saying? As long as he prophesied for it. You know?
You can feel it right
and,
now.
and like you said, we say it all the time, but we say it all the time, first of all, because it's true. We believe it. You know what I'm saying? And second of all, that's still the Lord trying to show mercy to those that he going to have mercy on.
Right.
You know? So, that's what I'm saying. You hate this world, but you tired of hearing that the Lord going to make it okay. It don't make sense, but that's what's happening.
That's right.
You know?
If I could say this upon this and lay back off, that's a beautiful point that you made as far as Noah's in Noah's day and the mindset that Noah's had, because, you know, I'm pretty sure other brothers can attest to this. It's a more of a spirit of, man, I gotta get my shit together as far as, man, let me stop doing whatever I'm doing that's taking my time so much and try to focus on the Lord, you know? Because we're getting at a time to where at any time it could be it. At any time it could be time for us to get ready to go to that next level. If you don't have that mindset to get ready to go to that next level, you're gonna get left behind, man.
Right.
You know, you're gonna be in a mindset of doubt or whatever that's gonna blockade you from getting to the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
You know, and that takes having a personal relationship with your heavenly Father. I might add, you gotta have that personal relationship, because we don't know what's gonna happen when everything pop off. I be on the road all the time, man. It might happen to where I'm on the road. I gotta have faith to get my way back home. That's just something I gotta deal with, bro. If it's gonna go down. But I'd say that we all got our certain path, and what's gonna be that light to that path is the truth. Us having that understanding for ourselves,
That
man.
standard, holding yourself accountable, fearing the Lord. You know?
2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
That's what I'm saying. How is it going to come like a thief in the night? Because as much as the prophets is out here saying that it's coming, everybody is asleep. You know what I'm saying? High time to wake out of sleep. A lot of Jakes still snoozing on the alarm clock. You know? Go ahead.
And the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to come like a thief in the night to those that ain't listening, to those that ain't watching. Go ahead.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Talk about that thermonuclear destruction is coming, and Jake's still swinging and banging in the Tahoe until it land on top of their stupid asses. You see?
Yeah. Nigga doing donuts, hanging out the window.
You know what I'm saying? And I hope that none of them die. Woo! So now you really can't run when the time comes. Since you're so caught up in your folly, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Just like the elder said, we talk about these things all the time. And the closer and closer and closer it get, just like the elder Mike Allen was saying, bro, I gotta make sure I gotta get on point. Keep going.
The earth also and the works there are therein shall be burnt up.
That's what I'm saying. Our senses are being heightened right now. You know what I'm saying? In the spirit, we've been exercised. Our senses are heightened to the point of the world. We can feel it getting closer and closer and closer. You see? He also, even when we had those times when we frustrated, like, Lord, how long? We snap back into reality and look at what's going on. As soon as you have that doubt in your mind that this thing might be taking too long, the Lord gonna show you something that's gonna be like, yeah, this place is done.
That's over.
It's Matthew 24, verse 14, and it says, "And the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all of the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come."
I'm saying even the groups that we don't agree with, they still pushing the word to some extent. You know what I'm saying? We believe through the spirit that it's our job to bring it home. You know, we can't. I would say we ain't big enough. We ain't big enough to get the whole world. But if you add all Israel, which is like the sand of the sea, it start to make sense. You know what I'm saying? And now you can't tell me that this word ain't being preached, bro. An Israeli woman was in Atlanta, and through that process, She believed that the so-called black man in America is the problem with the whole world. Why? Because this truth is flowing through those men. You see? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And now, they can't get around it. They got to do something extra. They got to do something different. Bro, it ain't no way in hell that the market, the M to the O to the T to the B should be so plain to us. To where everything we see like, yep, here he come. Yep, that's it. You know? And knowing that these things is coming, how should we be? That's why we going into 2 Peter 3 right now. Keep going.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be?
That's what I'm saying. You ought to be out here on the highways and the byways doing our job, doing our duty, man, making our bodies a living sacrifice, being brothers to one another, you know what I'm saying? Hating the evil, loving the good. That's what I'm saying. That's what we doing. Everything that Yahshua always talk about. You could be reading about yourself. You know? So knowing that, you still gonna be out here partying and doing it big. You see? You still gonna be a nigga? Knowing that the Lord finna burn all this shit up, you still gonna be a nigga. Come on, bro.
And all holy conversation and godliness.
All holy conversation and godliness, man. Our holy conversation is the way we conduct ourselves, the way we walk through Babylon. Being wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, turning the other cheek. You know what I'm saying? Agreeing with our adversary quickly. Because I would much rather agree with the adversary to get out of the ticket than to agree with the adversary and take the C to the H to the I to the P.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to pay no ticket, but I don't want to be a damn robot. It's gonna come a time where agree with our adversary quickly ain't gonna be on the table.
Right, because there comes a point where enough is enough.
Right.
There comes a point where it's like, no, you're not doing that to me.
Like Judas Maccabees.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Nope, and I'm willing to die on that. And if you ain't to that point in your mind as an Israelite, you better pray to the Lord for faith, because
I'm telling you.
I would rather than to walk around this motherfucker with a chip inside of me and all of these juices, not knowing what the hell. I'd rather just take it back to the spirit.
Yeah.
I take my chances with that. I ain't gotta worry about shit. Every man for himself after that. I'm flying up to the spirit world.
Yeah. Jake want to stand on business. We want to stand on wisdom, man. Go ahead.
Looking forward and hastening until the coming of the day of the Most High.
Looking for and hasting. You know what I'm saying? Hasting don't mean being in a hurry and rushing and bumping into shit. No. That means hasting today means you getting ready for that day. And how do you get ready for that day? By being meek for repentance when the Lord come back. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bro, when the Lord come back, it ain't gonna be you can't take him that bag. Here go my bag, Lord. You saying no, that ain't what he meant when he said increase my money. You know what I'm saying? Elder Magana brought it out in John 17 earlier. You know what I'm saying? Those that preach the word and those that believe on them that preach the word. That's increasing the bag. Keep on thinking. Jay gonna die next to some money. Jay gonna die next to a full clip. You see? Because the prophecies don't mean nothing to him because it ain't mixed with faith.
Right.
Go ahead.
Wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
That's what I'm saying, man. Imagine this. I'm saying, eventually, when Noah was hearing all them screams, eventually that water drowned the screams out.
Yeah.
They gonna continuously be screaming on fire because there ain't nothing to put the fire out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Eventually, that water quieted everybody down. I can only imagine once the waves stopped and everybody was there, how quiet. I can't imagine how quiet it was. All them people talking shit. Yeah, you gurgled to damn death. Now imagine your ass being on fire. Yeah, you gonna wish the flood waters was coming when the Lord burn your ass up.
All them nostrils. He filled all them nostrils up.
Yeah. So, is there more to that? If you want to finish that, I don't got nothing else.
Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
That's what I'm saying. The Lord promised a new heaven and a new earth, wherein is going to dwell righteousness. You see? And it ain't nobody on the planet that can stop that. That's what I'm saying. Even if you want to be a complete loser, bro, the Lord ain't going to allow it.
You still gonna be subject to his judgment.
Man. Anybody else got anything? Hey, with that, Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Akin teaching about the Mayan Wa'amat. That's in sincerity and truth. Shalom.
Shalom.